Coach Prime is bringing some special talent to Colorado for this spring game upcoming next week. We're going to tell you about some of the highlights of those visitors and what you need to know about them today. He's absolutely doing some special things out there in Boulder this offseason, and his recruiting efforts are starting to pay off in a big way. We've already told you that Colorado has the 21st ranked recruiting class in the country right now, and he's got a big chance to increase that number dramatically. The fact that they have the 21st ranked class is already super impressive. Every class ahead of him has coaches that have been at their organizations and their colleges for much longer than he's been in Boulder, but Coach Prime doesn't settle for average, and he's an overachiever. So it's not super shocking that he's doing this when you consider who he is, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a little surprising that he's been this good this quickly, and it's only going to get better. There are well over 30 to 40 recruits that we've confirmed will be in attendance for the spring game next week for the Buffaloes. We're going to talk about some of the highlights of the 2024 class, but I'm not going to spend this time going over 35 recruits. There will be 2023 signees, 2025, 2026, and beyond guys there. I will tell you how to get all of that info and list every single one of those recruits at the end of this video. First up today is an absolute star. This is where we want to start, and this is who we want to highlight. The #1 overall recruit in the country, according to On3, Dylan Stewart. Dylan is a 6'5", 235-pound defensive end. He plays the edge position for Friendship Collegiate Academy in D.C. He is 10th on the 247 composite rankings, but again, according to On3, he is the #1 player in the nation. Why is this special? Well, Coach Prime's got a little bit of a history with #1 players in the nation. You know what he did 2 years ago with Travis Hunter, and then he pulled in Cormani McLean last year as well, who was another one of the top-rated players in the country. Dylan's a 5-star, and if Coach Prime was able to pull this off in back-to-back-to-back years, I think it would worry anyone who had the #1 overall rated recruit as part of their commitment class forever. This is going to be truly special to see the #1 player in the country, according to On3, on Colorado's campus, on the sidelines there, enjoying Boulder, Colorado, their beautiful, beautiful weather, and the only spring game on TV next weekend. Next up, we've got Sterling Dixon. He is currently committed to Alabama. He's a 6'3", 211-pound edge rusher as well. He's from Mobile, Alabama, and 247 Sports has him as a 4-star composite. He's a top 165 kid nationwide. They've got him ranked as the 163rd player overall. He is currently, like we said, committed to Alabama, and if Coach Prime was truly able to pull away a kid from Nick Saban, he's pulled some big flips, being from Miami, Florida State, and others. But if he was able to pull away a kid from Alabama, that would be truly special. An absolute great prospect, a really, really good player with good size, good quickness. I really like Sterling Dixon, and I think that he could be pretty special for Colorado if they can get him off of that Alabama commitment. He has visited Auburn a couple of times recently, and so we'll see if he is maybe open to coming off of that commitment to the Crimson Tide. Aaron Butler is our next prospect. He is a 6', 165-pound prospect. He's being recruited as a corner primarily. He's a composite 4-star, and who better to play for than the greatest cornerback of all time? He's from Calabasas, California. He holds 26 Power 5 offers. A couple of crystal balls in for him right now to Georgia. So Coach Prime going up against the absolute best in the recruiting world with Alabama for Dixon and Butler now against Georgia. Coach Prime's not scared of going into these massive battles. He knows he can win these massive battles, and he knows that he can offer cornerbacks something that no other coach can, and that's the opportunity to play for and be coached by the GOAT. And so we'll see what Coach Prime is able to do here. Again, really, really big. Butler's a top 100 kid, very talented, very quick, Plays both sides of the ball in high school, obviously, with that kind of talent. But I think he would be a phenomenal corner. I think the draw to play under Coach Prime in Colorado will be really, really big. Next up is another flip potential. We've got Xavier Atkins. He is currently committed to LSU. He's 6 foot, 205 pounds. Again, another 4-star. He is 229th nationwide, so a top 300 kid, according to 247 Sports. He is in Humboldt, Texas. He's a linebacker who holds 14 Power 5 offers. Again, he is currently committed to LSU, but that doesn't bother Coach Prime. Again, he is going after some premier and elite programs here and their current commits. Xavier Atkins would be a massive pull. I like the location here. Texas, though close to LSU and close to Louisiana as well, is a much more regional potential landing spot for Colorado. I really think that they'll get very heavily involved, and I'm interested to see what news and notes come out of the Atkins recruitment after this weekend that he spends in Boulder. We are going to Florida now, in Orlando, Florida specifically, for DeAndre Robinson. This kid is huge. He's a beast here in the state of Florida where I am. He's 6'4", 300 pounds. He is another top 300 player, a composite 4-star, and somebody that is really, really highly sought after by all of the schools in Florida. I know that Florida State and Florida are really heavy on him. I know that Miami and UCF also are in big on this recruitment. He recently visited Tennessee, but DeAndre Robinson is somebody that I've been told probably was going to stay in the state of Florida, but we'll see, man. When Coach Prime comes calling, it's very telling to me that he is attending the Colorado spring game. Kids are unofficially visiting the spring game for the most part. And so he's going out there on his own dime, on his own dollar. I think that that's pretty telling to go from Orlando out to Boulder. And I think that you could see Colorado very heavily get into this recruitment for DeAndre Robinson. Again, a really, really good defensive lineman, a 4-star athlete who is going to do really, really big things at the next level. Let's look at another flip potential. You've got Gage Ginther. He is currently committed to Tennessee. He's a big guy, 6'6", 280 pounds. He's a 3-star offensive tackle. Tennessee likes him a ton. He was in Tennessee recently. He committed to them just this last weekend, but he's still making the trip out to Colorado for the spring game. Interestingly enough, he is from Colorado. He plays football at Fossil Ridge High School in Fort Collins. Gage is somebody that I'm very interested to see, fresh off of a Tennessee commitment, but still going to Coach Prime's spring game. Can they make some relationship inroads there? Can they get him off that Tennessee commitment? Probably don't expect him to decommit super, super soon because he just made that commitment. Even if he wants to go to somewhere else, it isn't really the best look to commit and then decommit just a few weeks later. But I do think that this is somebody that Colorado is going to kind of keep their thumb on, and being so close, don't be surprised if they're in the mix all the way up until early signing day. The last one, I like this guy's name because it's the same as mine, but TJ Abrams, Tawaski Abrams is the name. He is a 4-star wide receiver. He's currently committed to Florida State. He's 5'11", 175 pounds. Again, a 4-star wide receiver out of Fort Myers, Florida. And again, really, really talented kid here. He's 259th in the nation, so he's nearly a top 250 kid, is a top 300 kid. He's been committed to Florida State since January, so it's not a commitment that has been years and years or anything that's super long, but he's got a good relationship with Coach Dugans, the wide receivers coach there in Tallahassee. He's got a good relationship with Mike Norvell, but Coach Prime is obviously no stranger to taking kids off of Florida State's commit list, and so we'll see what ends up happening here. I'm very interested to see what Abrams does coming off of this visit, what things look like over the next couple of weeks, where things stand as the spring and the summer move on. Is this somewhere that Coach Prime can kind of get in, make some inroads on, and get another Florida kid to come off of his Florida State commitment and pick Colorado? Coach Prime could add to an already really good class this weekend. Don't be shocked to see some guys pull the trigger. And here's what I love about Coach Prime in general. We told you about several of these big-time targets that are committed to other powers of the college football world, from Alabama to LSU to Tennessee to Florida State. Those are 4 teams that will most likely start in the top 10 of next year's college rankings. I think that you see Coach Prime not being worried about going after the big dogs, not worried about upsetting the big dogs. Even the other programs that he was going after, teams like Georgia, and he's going head-to-head with Florida and Florida State for other uncommitted kids. Coach Prime has had success in the past at pulling kids away from massive programs, like the Travis Hunter thing with Florida State and the Cormani McClain thing with Miami. He is no stranger to shock flips. We have the full list of visitors that are confirmed for Colorado's spring game. And if you want that, I'm going to release it today for our members. If you click the join button, and if you're a recruiting diehard, you need to, we'll get you the info on every single commit that's been confirmed to Colorado's spring game, and we'll continue to update it there as more names come in or as some, if they choose, drop off. You do not want to miss that information. For less than a cup of coffee, we will provide you with the insight, like the full visitor list, as we get it. No one's required to. We'll always do free content on this channel. We've worked pretty hard to get this information, and we like to share it with those that are supporting and have joined the channel as a member. So if you'd like that info, click the join button, and let's get after it. Who are you guys excited about seeing visit Colorado? For me, I know that Dylan Stewart is one that's at the top of the list. As a Florida State guy myself, I'm very interested to see what happens with TJ Abrams and see Mike Norvell and Coach Prime go head-to-head there. But it is going to be a star-studded event. So hit the comments and let me know your thoughts about the recruits we've chatted about today. If you have questions on other recruits, hit the comments and we would be happy to respond there. We told you earlier about the Colorado spring game and how it's going to be the only game on ESPN's main channel this spring. If you missed that video, you can do me a favor and click right here. If you want the full list of who will be at Colorado's spring game, you can click right here.